In our previous videos, we learned how to draw shear force and bending moment diagrams for basic load cases. But in real structures, loads are rarely neat or perfectly placed. So in this video, we analyze a beam that has a uniformly distributed load, a point load exactly where the UDL ends, a concentrated moment, and an overhang that also has a point load acting on it. For clarity, we use numerical values instead of variables. This helps us focus on the procedure rather than the algebra. Let's say the total length of the beam is 10 meters. It is supported by a pin at the left end and by a roller support located 8 meters from the left. This leaves a 2-meter overhang on the right side. A uniformly distributed load of 2 kN per meter acts from x equal to 0 to x equal to 4 meters. Exactly at the end of this UDL, a 6 kN point load acts downward at x equal to 4 meters. In addition to this, a clockwise concentrated moment of 6 kN meter acts at x equal to 6 meters. Finally, a 5 kN point load acts at the very tip of the overhang at x equal to 10 meters. Our usual procedure is simple. First, we find the support reactions using equilibrium conditions. Then, we section the beam at different locations, specifically before and after every change in loading. This exposes the internal shear forces and the bending moments. We apply equilibrium to those sections and obtain expressions for the shear force and bending moment. Finally, we draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. So now let's begin by calculating the support reactions. First, we remove the supports and replace them with the corresponding reaction components. At the pin support A, we have a vertical reaction RA and a horizontal reaction HA. At support B, we have a vertical reaction RB. Now applying vertical equilibrium, taking upwards as positive. First, support reaction RA upwards, so positive. Then UDL 2 kN over the length 4 meter downwards, so minus. Then point load 6 kN downwards, so negative. Then support reaction RB upwards, so positive. And finally, point load of 5 kN downwards, hence negative, which simplifies to this. Notice, we did not include the 6 kN moment in this equation. Why? Because this is a moment, not a vertical force. It doesn't affect the vertical balance, but it will definitely show up when we calculate our moments later. Before that, applying horizontal equilibrium. Since there are no external horizontal forces acting on this beam, the horizontal reaction at pin is simply 0. Next, we apply moment equilibrium equation. We will take moments about point A, which eliminates both reaction components at A, RA and HA. Also, let us take clockwise moments as positive. The first load we encounter is the uniformly distributed load. For moment calculations, we replace the UDL with an equivalent point load acting at its centroid. Since it is a UDL, the centroid lies at the center of the loaded length. The UDL of 2 kN per meter over 4 meters gives a resultant of 8 kN acting at 2 meters from point A. This produces a clockwise moment, so it is taken positive. Next, we have a 6 kN point load acting exactly at the end of the UDL. That is at x equal to 4 meters from point A. This also causes clockwise rotation and is taken as positive. At x equal to 6 meters, a clockwise concentrated moment of 6 kN meter and is positive. Now pay close attention here. We do not multiply this by its distance from point A because it is already a moment. It is already in kilonewton meters. We include it directly in the equation without multiplying by any distance. Next, the reaction force RB acts upwards at a distance of 8 meters from point A. This produces an anti-clockwise moment about A, and therefore it is taken as negative. Finally, a 5 kilonewton point load acts downward at the free end of the overhang 10 meters from point A. This produces a clockwise moment and is taken as positive. Solving this, we get the value of RB as 12. Substituting this in equation 1, we get the value of RA as 7. Now that we have calculated the support reactions, we move on to determine the shear force and the bending moment generated in the beam. And for that, we use method of sections. The idea is simple. We cut the beam into regions before and after every change in loading. The first load we encounter is the uniformly distributed load. So we cut the beam somewhere within the UDL at a distance x from the left support. This exposes the internal shear force V and the bending moment M at the cut section. We will follow the same sign convention discussed in the earlier video. We now ignore the right portion of the beam and analyze the left portion only. The UDL acting over the length x is replaced by an equivalent point load 2x acting at the center of this segment, that is at x by 2 from the support. Now we apply our equilibrium conditions. Vertical equilibrium gives us this equation, and solving this we get this. Then with moment equations, taking moment about the cut point, we get this, which solves to this. These equations are valid for x equal to 0 to x equal to 4. Now let's move on to make another cut. At x equal to 4 meters, a point load of 6 kilonewton acts. We have already made a cut before this load, which happened to be inside the UDL. Now let's make another cut just after the load. At such point, the shear force changes suddenly, which expresses itself as a jump in the shear force diagram. The magnitude of the jump is equal to the magnitude of the point load. Again, the cut is at a distance x from the left support, and we consider the left portion. Now balancing the vertical forces gives this, which solves to this. It came out as constant. That means the shear force is constant and negative in this region. Then moment equilibrium gives us this, which solves to this. Next, we encounter the concentrated moment 6 kilonewton meter at x equal to 6 meter. We make another cut just after this. At this location, the shear force does not change suddenly because a moment does not produce any net vertical force. Balancing the vertical forces does not change the prior equation, since there is no additional vertical load is applied to the beam. But when we balance the moments, we get this. We notice bending moment equation changed by 6 kilonewton meter. This represents a sudden jump in the bending moment diagram equal to the magnitude of the applied moment. Next, we find the support reaction at B. Now we are in the final stretch, the overhang. Let's cut the beam here after the reaction. Balancing the vertical forces gives us this, and balancing the moments gives us this equation. That completes the derivation of the shear force and bending moment equations for all regions in the beam. In case you are wondering why we left the final load of 5 kilonewton acting at the free end, it is because it does not act within a region. But this load does cause a sudden change in shear force at the free end. So now let's draw the shear force diagram for the beam. These are the shear force equations we just derived. From equation 1, we can see at x equal to 0, shear force is 7 kilonewton. Means the diagram starts with a jump of 7 kilonewton at x equal to 0. This also matches the vertical jump created by the support reaction of 7 kilonewton. But as we move toward x equal to 4, the UDL is constantly pushing the beam down. Our equation also tells us this is a straight downward sloping line. By the time we reach x equal to 4, we have dropped to minus 1 kilonewton. Exactly at x equal to 4 meters, a 6 kilonewton point load acts. At this location, the governing shear equation changes from equation 1 to 2. As a result, the shear force drops suddenly from minus 1 to minus 7. The vertical drop in the shear force diagram represents the effect of the point load. From x equal to 4 to x equal to 8 meters, the shear force remains constant at minus 7 kilonewton. Although a concentrated moment of 6 kilonewton meter acts at x equal to 6 meters, the shear force is unaffected. This is because the moment does not produce any vertical forces. A horizontal line in the shear force diagram therefore indicates that no vertical loads act in this region. At x equal to 8 meters, we encounter support B. The upward reaction RB, 12 kilonewton, causes the shear force to jump from minus 7 to 5 kilonewton, which is also evident from the equation. This step up in the diagram corresponds directly to the support reaction. Across the overhang from x equal to 8 to x equal to 10, the shear force remains constant at 5 kilonewton. Finally, at free end, a 5 kilonewton downward point load acts, reducing the shear force to 0. This satisfies the boundary condition that the shear force must be 0 at the free end. With that, our shear force diagram is complete. Now let's draw bending moment diagram. These are the bending moment equations for different regions of the beam. First equation is an equation of a parabola. Since coefficient of x square is negative, we can say it is a downward facing parabola. Also at x equal to 0, bending moment is 0. Then at x equal to 4, bending moment is 12 kilonewton meter. The problem is we don't know the shape of the parabola here. If it will be continuously increasing or does it have some peak in between and then drops back. For that, first we determine the maximum or peak value of this parabola. And for that, we need to know where does this peak occur. So we differentiate the equation and equate it to 0. This gives us the point where the bending moment is maximum. This indicates the slope of the bending moment curve is 0 at x equal to 3.5 meters. Now we find the value of a bending moment at x equal to 3.5. Bending moment is 12.25. So we draw a downward opening parabola starting from 0 at x equal to 0, reaching a maximum of 12.25 kilonewton meter at x equal to 3.5 meters, and then dropping to 12 kilonewton meter at x equal to 4 meters. Now from the second equation, we calculate at x equal to 4, bending moment is 12 kilonewton meter. This means a graph continues from the exact previous point. Since coefficient of x is a negative, it is a downward sloping straight line. At x equal to 6, bending moment reaches minus 2 kilonewton meter. Then at x equal to 6, from the third equation, we get bending moment equal to 4. We observe a jump in the bending moment diagram. This jump is because of the concentrated moment which is acting at x equal to 6. And the magnitude of this jump is equal to the applied moment. Then it continues to decrease as it is also a downward sloping straight line, and curve falls to the minus 10 at x equal to 8. The final equation also gives the same bending moment at x equal to 8, ensuring the continuity of the bending moment diagram at the support. But notice that this is the upward sloping straight line. So the bending moment increases linearly. At x equal to 10, bending moment is 0. This satisfies the boundary condition that at the free end both shear force and bending moment must be 0. With this, the bending moment diagram of the beam is complete. Just remember, a point load causes a jump in the shear force diagram, while a concentrated moment causes a jump in the bending moment diagram. If you found this explanation useful, I have also prepared a detailed PDF that goes along with these videos. In the PDF, I discuss several important loading cases: point loads, uniformly distributed loads, uniformly varying loads, a pure moment case, and some more. And for each one, the shear force and the bending moment diagrams are derived step by step, exactly in the same manner as shown here. There is also a section explaining the relationship between the loading, shear force, and the bending moment, so you can understand how changes in loading affect the diagram. Towards the end, I have included a chapter on common mistakes students make during exams and why those mistakes occur. This PDF is meant to be descriptive and concept focused, especially useful if you are learning the topic for the first time or want to strengthen your fundamentals. You can purchase the PDF with the link in the description. With that, I would love to thank patrons for supporting elementary engineering financially. Also, thanks to the members of my channel here on YouTube. If you also liked the video, you can support elementary engineering on Patreon or join the channel here on YouTube to unlock the members only content. Find the links of books and other sources I referred for the creation of this video in the description. Thank you.